Hello everybody, this is J. Michael with the CheapPastor.com. In this video, I am going to show you how to set up a Google account and how to take advantage of all of the things that it offers. If done right, a Google account can be a huge blessing and can help you in a whole lot of areas. Yes, I do understand some of the hangups that people have about Google, and yes, it is pretty much just an NSA spying operation, but as long as you're just doing God's work for the ministry and keeping your nose clean, you pretty much don't have anything to worry about it, and it has a lot of good things that you can take advantage of. And why not use the devil's own product to go ahead and evangelize the world, right? So, first thing you're going to want to do is set it up starting with a Gmail account, because that is what it all starts with. So go to gmail.com. I'm going to click create an account. You have to put in your information. It's just kind of how it works. Be honest about it, but at the same time, if you do go by pastor, you can go ahead and put pastor whatever in the front part. I tend to go things like, cheap pastor, but you could go ahead and put Pastor Bob, pastor in the first part, Bob in the second, or Pastor Bob Larson, or whatever your last name is in the last part. Blast from the past right there, huh? Okay. And then the way you always want to do these is you want to do things like cheap pastor. It'll go ahead and try and look for it, see if it'll create. If that's not available, try cheap.pastor. Try, again, Pastor Bob, pastor.bob. Password, obviously, you want to make it something really strong. You do not want to be getting broken into. So I always try to make sure that I come up with something. There are, in fact, several places that you can go where you can create random passwords, such as passwordgenerator.net. This actually generates this on the client side. So this right here is not being transferred over the internet. This is being created in your web browser. So nobody can see this but you, using a JavaScript program. You can do this, and then for your reminder, you just go ahead and it's the first letter of every single one of these words. And so you can put that reminder in wherever as your reminder of your password. Likewise, Norton has a very good one where you can download it and actually create it on your own computer without if you really are worried about it. Or you could just do generate and it creates a client side again. These are actually pretty short. If you notice over here, it's a much longer password, so it's a lot more difficult. And if you want to test one of these, you could actually just go ahead and go to what's called passwordmeter.com and put it in and see what it says. See how strong that it says it is. See, it's not exactly the most strong in the world. Here's I'm going to put in my password that I use for my personal accounts. And if you notice, it's very strong. And then I'm going to put in a password that I use for my business accounts. If you notice, it's incredibly strong. Really long. But there's no deductions, there's nothing. It's exceptional because it has everything. Oh, 20 count. My bad. Forgot it's a different one. But, so if you want to make a really nice, really strong password, this is the way to do it. So we're going to come back into here, and I'm going to use the nice and long one. All right. Birthday is important. Simply because they want to know that kids aren't using this to do things. You can put other if you really don't want your gender to be known. I'm not certain if they always make you put in a phone number. A lot of times they want another email address. If you have one, go ahead and put it in. This is what they use to help if you did in fact lose a password or something like that. They'll go ahead and use this to send you verification. Agree to terms. Basically, it's just saying that you agree not to do a bunch of illegal stuff, and that if you do a bunch of illegal stuff, that they'll turn the stuff over to any law enforcement. You're not going to do anything to try and jeopardize or break any of their into Google or anything like that. Their privacy policy is that they do not turn over information to any third parties that directly identifies you. But if the government asks, they will give the government whatever they want. And while that does kind of stink, That's the society we live in today, isn't it? So we're going to head and verify this with the number. I prefer to get a voice call. And there you are. Now, it's quick. They just give you a code. It rings real fast. You go ahead and you put it in. Now you can continue to Gmail. Google gives you the option to have multiple types of inboxes where it separates things out based on what they are. I don't like to do that because it seems like I can't find what I'm looking for half the time. But if you want to keep it that way, that's fine. It's going to be up to you, but it'll explain everything to you about how you can change things. You know, how you can use it on your mobile devices. It's just the beginning. Okay, so now that you have this part set up, you're going to want to go over here to this right-hand side. And this is where everything is, basically, where you want to sign out, do anything. And this is where the other aspects are. You're going to want to set up Google Drive, because this is amazing, because it's going to give you all kinds of ways that you can put all of your documents and everything into. This is going to save just a ton of time and money and all kinds of things. You get 15 free gigs. You can do whatever you want. I say use it. Put your documents in there. If you're doing church documents, if you're doing spreadsheets, if you're doing PowerPoints, make them and upload them to the drive. Keep them in the Google Drive. You can, right here, this is my Google Drive. You can go ahead and use the Google Drive to where that that's where you store. Instead of putting it in My Documents or something, you put it in Google Drive and put a name for the church or whatever organization. Keep all of your documents in there. It automatically updates and keeps everything up. And if you use Word and stuff like that, you can do it that way. But there's also a lot of features in Google Drive where you can actually make spreadsheets or presentation slides and all kinds of different things, forms, and the forms can be used on your website. Then, of course, it keeps track of your maps and stuff, so as you go places. But in Google Docs, you can create a document file, and you go ahead and you name it what you want it to name, whatever you want it to be. It could be your sermon notes, August 29, 2015. It'll automatically save after every single update. It just automatically saves, and you can type whatever you want. You have the ability to do all your typical things, create headers. You can put images in there as you want to put them in. And after every time you make a change, it goes ahead and saves it automatically. And if you have Google Drive on your phone or your tablet or anything, it'll automatically update to your phone and tablet. Likewise, you can actually share this with other people, to where that if you were collaborating with people, you can go ahead and have them to where you can have it open on 9 different people can have it open all on their own computer and be working at it at the same time. So as you're making updates, it's updating everybody's documents at the exact same time. You just put their email address in, and it will ask them if they want to work on it with you. Okay, so now that we have Google Drive set up, we're going to go back to our little thing here. And you're going to want to set up a Google Plus page. This is vitally important nowadays with Google, the way it's set up. It's pretty easy. You just click it. It'll ask you what's your name and stuff like that. You can do this. This is technically considered an upgrade. You have to upgrade your Google account. That's what this is. You can try and put friends on here, pick people up if you want. You don't really have to follow anybody if you don't want to. You can if you want to. I usually go in and look for people, that are doing things that I'm interested in. Go for some, religious stuff, maybe the veiled wife or something like that, because there's a bunch of things in spirituality that are there. But anyways, we'll go back and keep on going. Now, this is where you want to get it to start. You're going to want to decide what you want to do. If you're a pastor, you want to put your face here. You want this to be your face so that people see who you are. If you have a brand logo, then you want to put your brand logo here. And this is going to be what you do. So, set that as your profile picture. It's taking a while as Google's trying to see if there's a face so that it can match it to other people. because it wants to see a face. Again, it is in fact the NSA, obviously, but they do want faces being used. But you work. All right, again. All right. Again, there are two ways to do this. You can either do just your regular account, or you can do a business page. Depending on if you're an individual, just do a regular account. If you're a church, you're going to want to do an actual page. So you go to pages. It'll say, what do you want to do? Get your page. You're going to have to use your head to decide exactly how you want to have this all put together. I usually do storefront for if you're at an actual church. If you don't have a storefront or a retail or something like that, service area is best if you're doing everything online. It just depends on how you're doing it, how you want to do it. So you're going to want to try and find where you're at. It's going to say you can't find it. So now that you have this, you're going to want to go through and put in every single, fill in all your stuff so everybody knows where you are, so you show up on the maps properly. You're going to want to add a picture. That's that for this part. This is how you set up your account. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can do hangouts from here. You can do all kinds of things. You don't want to go through and verify each section to make sure that each thing is correct. And again, if you are an individual, you're just a pastor yourself, you're just your pastor, maybe you go like sort of like a David Jeremiah sort of thing where you go by, even though you have a church, this is David Jeremiah Ministries or whatever, you just want to use your individual self, then use your individual self and just do it just like this, so that this is what you're going to be able to have. All right. You will want to set up your calendar. I mean, this is one of the best things you can do. Just make sure that you have the calendar set up. Click it. It'll open up. It'll just ask you a few things, tell you some information. You say you got it. This is all it is. It's really easy to do. You just click. You just start typing. And you can even put how it shows breakfast activities. You can put it in here and just... and hit it. It'll come in. When you go ahead and click this up, you can go ahead and put in more information as you want to do it. You can have it give you a pop-up so that if your browser's open, it'll pop up and show you. If you have a Mac, it'll go ahead and pop up on the side. I'm not usually a fan of that, but you can have emails. You get all different types of increments. You'll be available, busy. You can make this public so that if you're going to share this calendar, or say on your website or something, and you want the event to actually be breakfast Bible study, you go ahead and put it in there, and then you can share this event with just about anybody you want. You're going to want to go to the top here, do a little X, make a new window, and you're going to want to go to YouTube.com. Look like this. You want to come over here, and you want to do a sign in. Now, it will sign you in automatically using your Google Plus page. So you'll have this right here. What you can do is, again, you can just automatically, if you're an individual or something like that, Pastor Franklin can go ahead and come in here. You create a channel, and so you can choose to create it as yourself from your Google profile, which is usually the best. If you are an individual, this is the way to do it. You don't want to worry about doing any other ways. This is the best way to do it. If you want to have it through your business name, always set up a business page. Say you do want it to be your church, Second Baptist Church of Kenmore or something, then you go ahead and you create it and you use your page's name. This is where you would do that from. So in this case, we want it to be an individual, the Cheap Pastor. That's me. So now you have this. It's really easy to do. You just go ahead and hit upload. And you go ahead and you upload your first video. You can do private, you can do unlisted. You can do public. You're going to want it to be public most of the time. Same thing you can do if you want to create these. You can just record directly in, and it has editing features. It's really interesting. It's really cool. There's a lot of things you can do with this, and this will be for a later date because we will show you how to do this later. You are going to want to watch out. I will warn you. I will warn you about YouTube. All these videos you watch, it does know that you watched them, and therefore, if you watch something like this, a rap video, or you watch one of these, you'll get more and more stuff that looks kind of risque on it. If you want, if you're like me and you really don't want to see any of this junk on here, you can actually go down here to the bottom and you can put this on restricted mode so that you don't even have to see it. It puts it in a safe mode so that you don't have to see the comments right away. It'll also block out certain restricted things so that you don't have to see it. Now, so it thinks you're a teenage girl right now because you just put on restricted mode. So obviously there's not as much of the risque stuff, but there's Taylor Swift and all of that stuff. But again, as you watch more and more stuff on here, it'll give you more and more. So the thing I like to do right away is go right in here and put in some, David. There you go. Go ahead and I happen to like David Jeremiah. If you don't like David Jeremiah, then do something else. You can watch somebody else. But by watching this, and likewise, you're going to want to add some subscriptions and stuff. So the same thing. You go to David Jeremiah's page. See, so you can click here, and you can subscribe to him. So you subscribe to David Jeremiah, and now when you go to your YouTube page, you're going to see stuff from him, and it's going to try and put things that go more around your taste from now on, because these are the types of things that you're watching. Again, that's just a warning that YouTube will show you things that you don't want to see if you're not careful. Okay, so there you have it. You have now your mail, and you can receive mail like this at whatever you made it, CheapPastor@gmail.com. You have your Google Drive where you can create documents, you can share documents, you can do all this stuff, you can watch it, you can edit on your iPhone, pad, Android phone. You now have your Google Plus page where you can share things. This is most important for when you do make your website. You're going to want to connect your website to your Google Plus page. And you have your calendar all set up so that it all works and that your name is consistent across all the networks. All right. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned something. If you liked it, please subscribe or like it so that we can get more viewers and followers. Click share down at the bottom or at the right of the page. And thank you for your time.